14. I'm Caitlin Reynolds.
And I'm Anya Ritz. Let's see what's happening on the Hilltop in a national and local news.
Last weekend, the Bridgewater, New Jersey police received a tip that a fight had broken out at a local mall. This turned into an internal investigation. When the officers arrived on the scene, they found two teenage males fighting. One of the teenagers was Caucasian and the other was African American. The Caucasian teen was standing over top of the African American. The officers on duty had to pry the Caucasian male off the other teenager before using restraints. The African American teen gave no resistance to the officer while being handcuffed. The Caucasian teenager was neither restrained nor handcuffed by the two officers. A video was released to social media shortly after the incident, sparking many to call for an investigation into the incident, claiming that the other officers racially profiled the African American teenager. Governor Phil Murphy tweeted about the incident, saying that he was disturbed by the officers' behavior, and he plans to increase the trust between police officers and their community.
Add a new feature that your smartphone can do, and this one is probably the most important if you're a diabetic. The FDA recently just cleared an app that can give doses of insulin directly through your phone. This is possible because of an app created by Tandem Diabetes Care, where the company's insulin pump is connected to the app and administers a dose directly from the smartphone. The CEO of Tandem Diabetes Care, John Sheridan, says the FDA clearance further validates our commitment to innovation in diabetes by the community, providing one of the most requested feature enhancements. This feature will be for the type of insulin called bolus, which is taken to prevent glucose spikes after eating. The feature will be made through a software update, and the company has not said when the feature will be launched. Washington and New Mexico recently announced that they were lifting their indoor mask mandates. Washington's mask mandate is set to lift on March 21st, including schools and child care facilities. New Mexico has set to lift the mandate immediately. The state also dropped the mask mandate for schools. This leaves Hawaii as the only state that has not set a date for lifting the mandate. Over the last month, the country has seen a decline in the numbers of COVID-19 infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. The U.S. has reported fewer than 1 million new COVID-19 infections for the first time in months. According to CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky, the government is considering making a change to their recommendations regarding masks in the coming weeks. While mask mandates are beginning to ease up, the CDC still recommends wearing a mask indoors in areas with high transmission rates.
Western Magnesium plans to build a plant in Harrison County. They announced the construction of the plant on September 2020, but they are still in the beginning stages of planning. According to WTRF reporter Ashley Kazar, Harrison County Commissioner Paul Coughlin said they are still roughly 18 months to go before we see any kind of real movement. He said that the process takes time, but the possibilities will be endless once it's here. Commissioner Coughlin explained that this is a big project that includes the employees, and the project is currently in construction phase. They're planning that other industries, spin-off businesses will come just because of them. That is what's important to the county. So far, they haven't come to any kind of tax agreement. However, that will change once construction starts and the facility begins.
The West Virginia House of Delegates passes House Bill 4535. 68 to 25 voted remove school-related requirements for students to get a driver's license. House Bill 4535 states a person aged 15 to 18 trying to get a learner's permit or driver's license will no longer have to have satisfactory grades in school or have good attendance. A few Republicans voted against the bill, saying that the bill would make it harder to keep certain students in school. They believe that the bill should have exemptions for students in certain situations instead of removing the requirements altogether. According to WTRF reporter Corinne Hackathorn, House Majority Leader Amy Summers said the children I'm speaking of feel they have no other option but to leave school. You can hold this over their head and tell them that they can't drive. It doesn't matter. They're still leaving. The bill now goes to the Senate for consideration.
One of the most annoying things about wearing a mask is not being able to use your Face ID. iPhone users might be able to use your Face ID with a mask on. Apple has launched the first beta of this feature for iOS 15.4, which helps test this feature. The only way to unlock an iPhone with a mask on is by owning an Apple Watch. Once this feature is enabled, the user would wake their iPhones, then glance at the screen to unlock it. The update is currently in developer mode. This update will be able to do it without an Apple Watch. Apple has not released when this feature will be available, but for all iPhone users, along with the Face ID upgrade, there will be new emojis and an option to copy text from objects using the camera in Notes or the Reminder app. A flight leaving Malaysia last week had to be rerouted due to an unexpected passenger. A snake was spotted slithering through the overhead lights on this plane. When the passenger on the AirAsia flight looked up, they were met with the silhouette of the snake. Once the passenger alerted employees, the flight was then rerouted to city 550 miles west of the original destination, according to USA Today. Chief Safety Officer of AirAsia, Captain Ling, stated that the plane was fumigated before passengers boarded the plane. Once again, after the snake was taken care of, passengers were able to resume their flight and reach their intended destinations. The type of snake and how the snake got in the plane was not determined. The passenger of this flight had a movie-like experience with the snake on the plane. We'll be right back after this break. Stay tuned to hear what's going on around the campus.
Please, not the trash. Take me along. I can be repurposed. Just give me another chance.
It takes more than one person to make a big difference, but one person can make a difference.
Good afternoon and welcome back to this edition of Newsline 14. I'm Caitlin Reynolds.
And I'm Anya Ritz. Here is what's happening on campus.
4 West Liberty students are teaming up with the Belmont County Animal Shelter. The students began working with the shelter for their senior public relations capstone project. Public relations campaigns in the class, the students were tasked with grouping together to find an organization that could most use to help a PR assistant, Brianna Heyman, Lindsay Griffith, Keneally George, and Kayla Dean, members of the project, choose the Belmont County Animal Shelter after seeing their passion for animals. The students will assist them in a social media takeover to promote adoption along with brand exposure. The group is working together with the Advanced VCD Art 383 class, taught by Professor Sarah Davis, to create a new logo for the shelter. The girls plan to introduce the logo to help build brand recognition for the Belmont County Animal Shelter primary audience. The WLU students are now promoting the shelter's Jordan's Way 50 State Tour that is coming to the shelter on March 2nd from 6 to 10 p.m. for a Facebook Live fundraiser event.
A new financial planning undergraduate program is underway for the Gary E. West College of Business. This program has been in the works for over a year and was recently approved by the Certified Financial Planner Board of Standards. Douglas S. King, CFP's Board of Directors, says that with the growing interest of WLU students in financial planning, they see a good future for this program and its certifications. The CFP board is based in Washington, D.C. and oversees more than 300 programs in over 200 institutions. This is an independent, nonprofit organization that always allows student access and promotes the Certified Financial Planner certification. Students who are interested in this program should contact Christina DeWitt, MBA instructor of Finance of General Business at cmdewitt@westliberty.edu.
Oh, the chemistry lab on campus will gain an atomic absorption flame spectrometer as a part of a grant, according to Maureen Zambito, Director of Media Relations. Atomic absorption flame spectrometers help enhance research. This is a new addition to the chemistry lab, will serve as a great tool for our students, researchers, and will create hands-on experience. Dr. Swartz, Associate Professor of Chemistry, explained that he a grant through the Pittsburgh Conference Memorial National College grant and from the West Liberty University Foundation. Angie Zambito Hill, president of WLU Foundation, thanks to generous donors as they are in position to match funds and leverage. Swartz said that the primary use of for the speedometer will be for teaching purposes, but it will create opportunities for students to use it for various projects. The students will be installed. The speedometer will be installed this spring semester and will be ready to use by next fall semester. There are 4 contestants competing in the final round of Topper Idol. Last week's theme was the 90s, and those who competed definitely chose a song that made the audience members feel like they went back in time. 5 students sang a 90s hit of their choice, but only 4 made it to the final round. Mackenzie Infante sang Creep by Radiohead. Sean Ball sang Hard to Handle by the Black Crowes. Sarah Booth sang Como La Flor by Selena, and May Thenzar Kine sang Stuck on You by Lionel Richie. The final round of Topper Idol does not have a specific theme, so the final contestants had creative freedom. Nathan Zarkine won 3rd place, Mackenzie Infante won 2nd place, and Sarah Booth won 1st place. Yodef Ocasio, Residence Life Area Coordinator and Director of Topper Idol, said that he has plans to keep developing, improving, and adding to Topper Idol as the show continues to be held on campus. Topper Idol is coming to an end, but we'll be back next semester before we know it.
A West Liberty student has merged her 2 majors to form a crime blog. Editor-in-chief of the Trumpet, Annalise Murphy, took her interest in the justice system and journalism to form a crime blog called Local Crimes Explained. Murphy is a double major in criminal justice and journalism and created the blog for her criminal justice internship. The blog was launched over a month ago, and Murphy plans to publish her first blog post very soon. Viewers can expect to see crime reports coming from the Ohio Valley. Murphy hopes to simplify the crime reports with her knowledge of the criminal justice system to help her readers better understand them. Unlike most blogs, Local Crimes Explained will report the truth rather than opinion. As a current intern at WTRF-7, Murphy plans to pull inspiration from the crime reports she sees at the station. Support Murphy and her future of investigative journalism by subscribing to Local Crimes Explained on Substack.com. West Liberty University's Dr. Steve Crinity was named the 2020 Professor of the Year. Crinity has been at WLU since 2008 and continues to impact his students through teaching. Reporter Annalise Murphy has more on the story.
Outside of the Paul and Elbin Library here on West Liberty's main campus, where Dr. Crinitti's office is located. Crinitti is the third West Liberty professor to win this prestigious award. I got to talk to Crinitti today about his thoughts and feelings when he learned he was selected as the 2020 Professor of the Year. Here's what he had to say.
I really didn't think I was going to get it, so I was really shocked and just humbled that they chose me.
Crinitti was nominated by two colleagues, Dr. Jeremy Lawrence and Dr. Celia Sempton. Another colleague and friend, communication professor Ryan McCullough, commented on being proud of Crinitti, saying, "It's nice to see the work within the Liberal and Creative Arts College rewarded."
He's an outstanding teacher and highly respected on campus, and someone who truly cares about the institutions and the students, and that's why he deserves the award.
The Faculty Merit Foundation Professor of the Year Award is exclusive to all West Virginia professors, regardless of university or discipline. However, Crinitti says caring is what defines his teachings and what he feels won him this award. For him, being able to care for his students and their well-being is the most meaningful reward of all. Former student Anna Johnston shares her experience with Crinitti as a professor.
I'm not an English major. I took a young adult lit class with him, and he really helped me understand, and I got a lot out of the class in the end. His teaching was really helpful and useful, and I learned a lot of skills and techniques that I otherwise definitely wouldn't have, and I was able to apply it to the fields that I study as well.
Crinitti is truly humbled he was selected as the 2020 Professor of the Year.
I'm Annalise Murphy, reporting for Newsline 14 on Topper Station.
For more information about Dr. Crinitti winning the Professor of the Year award, head over to thetrumpetwlu.org.
The College of Liberal and Creative Arts has added 3 new concentrations to their visual communication programs. These concentrations include graphic designs, illustrations, and studio art. Graphic design, illustration, and studio art concentrations apply to students majoring in visual communication. A program previously called Visual Communication Design, students majoring in visual communication can choose graphic design, illustration, or studio art as their specialty. All of their concentrations have a studio core, regardless of you choosing concentration. The graphic design concentrations focuses on teaching students how to create visual content to communicate ideas and messages. The studio art concentration provides students with the opportunity to professionally pursue studio art. Studio art includes both 2D and 3D art. Their illustration concentration combines studio art with a digital technology. For more information on the visual communication program, contact art@westliberty.edu.
Clientele Art Studio in Wheeling is helping WLU students display their work and gain experience as artists. The art studio helps artists from the Ohio Valley get exposure. Current students and alumni from West Liberty University have showcased artwork at the various shows put on by Clientele. Some students and alumni have their creations available for sale in the retail section of the studio. Currently, Clientele Art Studio has artwork from about 20 different artists available for purchase. Clientele Art Studio has indoor and outdoor event spaces, as well as multiple studios for rent. These studio spaces offer resident artists a space to create work and a gallery to display their work. The gallery changes their display every month to fit a different theme. For more information about Clientele Art Studio, visit clientelestudio.com or email them directly at info@clientelestudio.com.
If you're a fan of DIY projects or are just lacking a place to leave your keys, then you may be interested in the event taking place next week. This upcoming week, the Art and Education Center will be holding an event for people to create their own keychain. This will be a great opportunity for those who have gone far too long lacking a place to hang their keys. This is something everyone should make sure to have access to, given how vital the object can be to the safety of your keys. The simple addition of your keys to your keys can make them far easier to avoid losing. As well as making them far easier to store, this event will even be taking place from 6 to 7 in the evening of this upcoming Monday, February 28th. So make sure to swing by. For this event, the safety of your keys could truly be at stake.
Enthusiasts of chilled drinks will soon have a reason to rejoice, for an event on campus will be giving out smoothies in the very near future. Along with the change of month, events being held by campus also change. One of these events is a tasty upcoming smoothie event being held on March 2nd in the ballroom of the Union. This is sure to be a great time, as the delicious beverages are able to make even the most aggravating weeks of student life a bit brighter. These delicious treats will be given away during a very generous period of the day to assure many will be able to get them, as they will be given away from 11 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon. So whether you're having a great week and want to make it a bit better, or you want something to help ease the new month's pains, make sure to come grab a smoothie.
Assistant Editor Brianna Heyman has an update on the Trumpet's next publication. Here's what she has to say.
Good afternoon. I am Brianna Hammond, Assistant Editor of the student-run newspaper, The Trumpet. Issue 15 publishes tomorrow. Here's a preview of what you can find. Starting off the news section on page 3, we report on WLU's Chair of Music and Theater Department, Linda Cowan, and her nomination for West Virginia's Professor of the Year Award. The 2021 nomination came from the Dean of the College of Liberal Arts and Creative Arts, Dr. Cecilia Conchar-Farr. Cowan makes yet another professor to be nominated and selected as a finalist for this prestigious award. More on page 3. Next up on page 4, WLU political science major James Willis is putting his degree to work and running unopposed for the West Virginia House of Delegates as a member of the Republican Party. The primary election for the House of Delegates takes place on November 8th. Read more about this on page 4. On the next page, the chemistry lab awaits newly installed equipment after a $20,000 grant. The new lab update is made possible by the Pittsburgh Conference Memorial National College Grant and the WLU Foundation. More about this on page 5. Ending the news section this week on page 6, WLU's creative art therapy students are opening a gallery above the Student Union in honor of Black History Month. The gallery is open to view and houses work recognizing art therapy pioneers of color. Starting on page 7 of the culture section, criminal justice and journalism student Annalise Murphy combines interests to form a crime blog titled Local Crimes Explained. After launching the blog a month ago, Murphy went public with her first post on Tuesday, February 22nd. Read more about how to subscribe to Murphy's blog on page 7. On the next page, you can find a feature piece on WLU's Criminal Justice Society and all they do for the Wheeling community. Read more about their efforts on page 8. On page 9, we report on the International Center's ongoing search for friendship families. The Friendship Family Program assists international students in need of a friend or place to stay. To become a friendship family, apply for the program by contacting or visiting the Raleigh Williams International Center. Ending the culture section, a summary of WLU's Random Acts of Kindness Day. Read more about this event on page 10. Check out page 11 of the opinion section this week for a list of studying tips and tricks to get you through midterms. We also discuss tutoring resources on campus like the Robinson Writing Center to help you ace your mid-semester assignments. After catching up on how to pass your midterm exams, treat yourself to a list of fun spring break activities on page 12. To catch up on all things Hilltopper sports, check out our sports section. This week's sports update starts on page 13 with a recap of the exciting acro and tumbling team win during their home opener against Wesleyan University. After a back-and-forth toss-up during each event, the Hilltoppers pushed to a victorious win, scoring over a point higher overall. More on page 13. On the next page, WLU's basketball team faced Fairmont State in a nail-biting game sent to overtime. The Hilltoppers put in the work for an ultimate victory and look to finish the season strong with 2 games remaining. Read more on page 14. On the next page, women's basketball bounces back after recent losses to defeat Frostburg State with a score of 86-62. More about the recent win on page 15. Ending our sports section on page 16, the Hilltoppers indoor track and field visit Marshall University Chris Klein Athletic Center for the Mountain East Indoor Track Championship. WLU's indoor track and field finished the weekend off strong with new school records set. Outdoor track begins their season on March 17th with the 49er Classic in Charlotte, North Carolina. More on page 16. That concludes the Trumpet's updates for this week. To read the Trumpet, issue 15, visit thetrumpetwlu.org. See you next Wednesday for more updates. I am Brianna Hammond, reporting for Newsline 14 on Topper Station.
We'll be right back after this break. Coming up next is Westler's Sports Update.
More about WLU women's track, who placed second in the MEC indoor meet, and stay tuned for the Penguins update.
The Paul N. Elbin Library is your destination for learning. Featuring over 200,000 items in print, audio, and video formats. Students have access to search for books of all kinds. Our state-of-the-art egg chairs give the user an immersive experience. We offer both Macs and Dells for your convenience. Please be sure to follow all signs. Our hours are Monday through Thursday 8 to 11, Fridays 8 to 4, Saturdays are closed, Sundays 5 to 11. Our friendly staff will assist in finding the right study material for you, whether it's a physical copy or on the school's database. The Paul N. Elbin Library at West Liberty University. Please call 304-336-8261.
Yes, perfect.
Welcome back to this edition of Newsline 14. I am Siddhi Mahatole.
And I'm Stephen Gravy. Let's see what's happening on the Hilltop in sports.
Hall of Famer passes away at the age of 80. The NFL was saddened to hear that Washington legend and Hall of Famer Charlie Taylor had passed away at the age of 80. Taylor played 13 seasons in the NFL. When Taylor retired, he was the NFL all-time leader in receptions and still holds the record for most touchdowns in franchise history for Washington. Taylor helped lead Washington to the team's first ever Super Bowl appearance. Shortly after Taylor retired, he received the ultimate honor of being inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame. Taylor finished his career with 649 receptions, 9,110 receiving yards, and 79 touchdown receptions. Taylor also became the first ever player to have 700 or more rushing and 700 or more receiving yards in the same season. The NFL community is saddened to hear about this loss, but happy to reflect on the amazing career Taylor had.
The green flag has officially waved on the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series season, as they had their first race on Sunday at Daytona International Speedway. The Daytona 500 has been coined as the Great American Race, and the 64th edition did indeed live up to the name. In a shocking upset, rookie Austin Cindric in the number 2 car blocked his teammate Ryan Blaney and held off Bubba Wallace by less than half a second to win the race in his 7th career Cup Series start. The first 2 stages of the race were won by Martin Truex Jr., who ended up finishing 13th, coming back after being involved in an accident on lap 150. 2021 Cup Series champion Kyle Larson, who also took pole position by setting the fastest qualifying time, crashed out with 10 laps to go after being collected in an accident. The NASCAR Cup Series travels across the country for race 2, making a pit stop at Auto Club Speedway in California next Sunday on Fox.
The Pittsburgh Penguins dropped a game at home to the Carolina Hurricanes this past Sunday. The Penguins trailed early in the game, conceding 1 goal in the first period. Former Penguin and Stanley Cup winner Jordan Staal opened up the second period with a goal in the first 9 seconds, putting the Canes on top 2-0. Brian Rust put the Pens on the scoreboard with his 8th goal in his last 8 matchups played. Penguins captain Sidney Crosby tied it up at 2 apiece going into the third. However, the Hurricanes scored in the first 10 seconds of the third, putting the Hurricanes up 3-2. Evan Rodriguez put in the Pens' last goal to make the final score of 4-3. The Penguins' next game will be tomorrow as they host the New Jersey Devils with puck drop set for 7 p.m. Myles Garrett put on a show for hometown fans at the Ruffles NBA All-Star Celebrity Game. Cleveland Browns star Myles Garrett had hometown fans going nuts. Myles started out the game by blocking a shot so hard the ball has still not landed. This had the fans and announcers left in awe. Myles continued to put on a show with his highlight dunks. Myles was showing off his athleticism by throwing down several aggressive dunks. One dunk happened after the time expired. Myles threw down a nasty windmill dunk. This had the whole arena rocking. Cleveland fans are happy that Myles came out of the game healthy. It was a major risk for Myles to play a basketball, but he had a great time and left healthy. That's the most important thing. Myles looks to keep this intensity going into the off-season.
Cleveland showed up big for All-Star Weekend. Cleveland's young core of Jared Allen, Darius Garland, and Evan Mobley dominated the Taco Bell Skills Challenge. The events include team shooting, team passing, team relay, and a half-court shot. Cavs All-Star Darius Garland dominated the shooting challenge. He outscored everyone in the competition. Although they smoothly went through the passing competition, they didn't win it. When it came to the half-court shootout, Evan Mobley came up big and sealed the deal for the Cavs. In this event, a team will line up at half-court and will shoot half-court shots until someone makes a shot. Evan Mobley hit the shot in a stunning 5.5 seconds. This was the final nail in the coffin that sealed the victory for the hometown favorites. The Cavs look to stay healthy throughout this break and come back well-rested for the second leg of the season. The West Liberty women's basketball team brought home the win when they traveled to Fairmont State University on Sunday, defeating the Falcons by a score of 90-83. After a tightly contested first quarter, the Hilltoppers put on an 11-2 run at the end of the second quarter and never trailed in the second half. Sweeping Fairmont State on the year, freshman guard Bailey Smith led the team with a career-high 34 points, while Kareem Thomas had 23 points, including 6 three-pointers. Senior guard Audrey Tingle also had a double-double, scoring 11 points while also grabbing 10 rebounds. West Liberty improves to 18-7 on the year, keeping a third-place tie with West Virginia State in the MEC. The Toppers finished out the regular season with senior night on Wednesday evening when they host Notre Dame, Ohio.
Hilltoppers get set for Super Region 3 Championships. The West Liberty Hilltopper wrestling team will host the Super Region 3 Championships Saturday, February 26th. After winning the team title last year, the Hilltopper squad will look to repeat as the champs this year. The Super Region 3 Championships are an opportunity for all the wrestlers to qualify for the Division 2 National Championship in March. Outside of the Hilltoppers, other teams competing will be Ashland, Davenport, Findlay, Glenville State, Indianapolis, Lake Erie, Notre Dame of Ohio, Ohio Valley, Tiffin, and the Wheeling University. The wrestling team has 3 returning Super Region 3 championships, which includes Cole Laya at 125 pounds, Tyler Warner at 141 pounds, and Connor Craig at 184 pounds. The championships will be held Saturday, February 26 in the ASRC at 9 in the morning.
West Liberty's acro and tumbling team saw a victory at their season opener. Their opponents, the West Virginia Wesleyan team, had greatly improved from last season, making the Hilltoppers win even more impressive. A large crowd was in attendance during the event that took place in the ASRC. The Hilltoppers began by winning the compulsory event with a score of 34.25. West Virginia Wesleyan took the wins in both the pyramid and toss events. When the tumbling event began, the score was 110.25 to 110.20, with Wesleyan in the lead. West Liberty's team of mainly freshmen and a few veterans were able to get the lead back during the tumbling event. Coach Kelsey Kyle praised freshmen Abby Horvath and Avery Ray on their outstanding first tumbling performances. The Hilltoppers will compete again next Thursday at Alderson Broaddus University.
The WLU's men's track and field team had 3 NCAA provisional qualifiers from the Mountain East Conference Indoor Championships this past Saturday. Adam O'Donnell was named the 2022 MEC Indoor Male Field Athlete of the Year as the leading soccerer in the meet. O'Donnell shattered his own school and meet records in the heptathlon by more than 200 points with a score of 4,998. Mikey Anderson had a time of 8.22 seconds during the preliminary heat in the 200-meter hurdles, which broke his own school record and was a NCAA provisional qualifying time. Reese Burnside, a freshman, Paul Walters, set a school's record, posting NCAA provisional qualifying vault of 4.78 meters. Two other indoors men's records were broken with the 4x4 relay team and distance medley relay posting school record times. The NCAA division took indoor track and field championships will take place on March 11th and 12th at Pittsburgh State University in Pittsburgh, Kansas.
WLU women's track placed second in the MEC indoor meet last Saturday, with the team setting 14 school records. One of the record setters was Kelsey Holt, a senior thrower who started the meet off with wins in the shot put and weight throw. Her school record heave of 12.42 meters was immediately followed by a record toss of 15.01 meters in the weight throw. Haley Carrion set two school records in the 60 hurdles and 60-meter sprint, and Hannah Kemp set a school record for the 3K. Olivia Miller also had a school record in the pole vault, placing second in the event. Zane Breakall finished third in the women's pentathlon, breaking the school record by nearly 300 points. Olivia Combs also set a school record in the triple jump. The next meet for the team is to be announced at a later time.
We'll be right back. Grab your umbrellas, hilltoppers. More rain is on its way. The 5-day forecast is coming up next.
If you're a student at West Liberty University and ever run into computer troubles, take advantage of the school's IT help desk located in the basement of Main Hall, room B39. It's open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The IT help desk offers assistance and access to many services, like helping students get and download their Microsoft Suite package that they are entitled to. They also help with a variety of computer-related problems involving hardware and software. They can fix broken parts, install a new part provided you pay for it, software and application troubleshooting, and so much more. No appointment is necessary. You can just show up at the office if a person is there to help, or fill out a ticket online using the Go West Liberty page and explain the problem, as well as set up an appointment if needed.
Welcome back to Newsline 14. I'm Sean McClurg, and this is the weather update. Yesterday was the last day with unusually warm temperatures on the hilltop. Despite 60-degree weather last night, it's been cooling down all morning, with temperatures currently sitting at 39 degrees. While it looks like we'll avoid the rain today, expect lots of clouds and more wind. Be sure to put a coat on if you're walking to class. Tonight, the temperatures decrease even further as West Liberty hits a low of 26. Taking a look across the United States, it's about 58 degrees and partly sunny in Los Angeles, which is a lot better than Seattle. They're stuck at a cloudy 39. Over to Kansas City in the Midwest, it somehow gets even colder with 26-degree partly cloudy weather. Even Texas is affected with the cold, with 31-degree freezing rain hitting the Dallas area. And down in Miami Beach, the cold streak finally comes to an end as South Florida is enjoying 79-degree weather. Finally, in the Big Apple, the New York City is surprised with 66-degree partly cloudy temperatures, and in the Ohio Valley, we're sitting at a cool 38 degrees. Don't turn that dial because the 5-day forecast is coming up next here on Newsline 14.
Parking at West Liberty can be a hassle. Here are some tips to help you park safely and correctly on campus. First, always display your parking tag. Make sure to park in the correct parking lot. Follow the marked direction of travel. Don't park in visitor parking during the day. Don't park in no parking zones. Don't park in handicap parking. Never park in front of this door. Follow these tips and you'll never have parking problems or tickets again. This message is brought to you by West Liberty University.
Welcome back to Newsline 14. I'm Sean McClurg, and this is your 5-day forecast. On Thursday, the rain strikes back with cold temperatures, as well as reaching a high of 37 and a low of 24. To kick off the weekend, enjoy some more rain and a high of 38 and a low of 25. Saturday kicks off a streak of cold and partly cloudy days with a high of 37 along with a low of 23. It warms up slightly on Sunday with partly cloudy skies reaching a high of 40 and a low of 25. And rounding out the 5-day forecast is a high of 34 and a low of 19 on Monday.
Thank you for watching this edition of Newsline 14. I'm Caitlin Reynolds.
And I'm Anya Ritz. Have a great week.